Yes, we know that hearing is quite significant to all of us. How beautiful is it if you wake up in the morning, you can greet someone and they can respond and you hear their response. But then, have you ever imagined how it feels when you wake up, you look at people, you see them talking and laughing, but you can't be part of their conversations? It really hurts. Now, third March every year is the World Hearing Day. This year's World Hearing Day was on Thursday. Sorry, was on yes, yeah, actually it was yesterday. We are delighted it was yesterday. And the theme this year is actually very simple. Hear for life, listen. It is hear for life, listen with care. Now, as we know that it is very important for us to come back and talk about these days because they are special days to us. It is the reason we are here today. I welcome you to HealthPort. Edrine Osteen Mukalazi is my name. Mebo Murungi, our sign language interpreter, and we are with Mr. Mukaaya Eddie, one of the directors of Hear His Voice Uganda. Last week we were with Edith Mukaaya taking us through the importance, the beauty of having a cochlear implant. So we are delighted to have Mr. Mukaaya share with us the details of why this day should really be celebrated, why this day should even be talked about. Mr. Mukaaya, we are delighted to have you this evening and kindly greet our viewers and then we shall continue.
Good evening, viewers, and thank you, Edrine and Mabel, for having me on this talk show. I am honored to be here with both of you. And speaking of World Hearing Day, um, just as the theme says, here for life. Life is the world we live in is a world that is full of sound.
Yeah, true.
And
Everywhere you'll
yeah,
always find that ambience.
yeah. So the birds tweeting in the trees, the wind blowing over the leaves of the trees. Everywhere we are surrounded by
Sound.
sound.
Mm.
And again, like you ably put it, if you don't have this, it should be a form of urgency. There is
Sure.
something lacking in life.
Mm.
There is a part
Your
of
senses are not
yeah.
complete.
There is a part of life which has been taken away from you, and again, the brain will realize that this is not happening. There is
True.
something missing.
Yeah.
So World Hearing Day is a day that World Health Organization set apart to create awareness, globally uh, about the issues of hearing loss, but also to find solutions. When you create awareness, therefore, what next? We'd like to
Mm.
find solutions
True.
for what this is.
Mm.
And again, um, hearing loss is one of those invisible disabilities.
They're so silent that
Yes,
someone cannot just look at you and they say you
yes.
can't hear or you
So,
can hear.
so that is the whole reason why we should beat the drum. When we were growing up, we used to have the Gwanga Muje.
Yeah.
Whenever there is an issue, you call the Gwanga Muje. So World Hearing Day is the Gwanga Muje for people who have lost that sense of hearing.
Okay. Wow, this is so beautiful. So why it's sorry, for how long has this day been celebrated?
Um,
Because we imagine there have not been a lot of publicity about this day in our country, and there are things we are just coming to know about of recent that even the media has not really done enough to talk about some of these things. Why do you think
yeah.
it is like that?
I want to clarify that question.
Mm.
Are you saying for how long has it been
For how long? And
commemorated
then,
in Uganda?
yes, in
Or
Uganda.
okay.
Yeah, we're basically looking at Uganda.
To be honest, I first heard of World Hearing Day when I was staying elsewhere. And 20,
Elsewhere out of the country.
yes. So 2017, um, I got an opportunity to work with different partners, especially the Ministry of Health and KCCA, to begin working on commemorating World Hearing Day in Uganda. So we first officially started commemorating it in 2017. But elsewhere, it's been going on for years, actually for decades.
Mm.
If you can look at the World Health Organization quick page of facts.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
that's true.
here, that's when. And we started this again. The government came and was very helpful in terms of embracing the day,
Mm.
because without the system helping um, the little effort that's being put in the in the awareness,
Mm.
it becomes hard to go any mile, to go any stride at all. So you need to work with both the government and the structures available in order to bring about a lasting solution for the people in the country. Again, the reason why World Health Organization set aside World Hearing
Hearing day.
Day is to make sure that there is awareness about this, but also to bring the government who are signatories to the World Health Organization Act
Mm.
to be thinking about hearing loss, because the facts are quite daring, and it is frightening to even think about it, because 10 years, 20 years ago, it was 1 in 1,000 people used to have hearing loss. 10 years ago, it became to 3.
Mm.
Right now, we're talking about 5. So it is I don't want to call it a pandemic. It's a problem that we just can't keep a blind eye
Yeah.
about. We need to do something about it.
Mm.
And again, the World Health Organization has systems and structures in place to help governments
Mm.
to think about it, because we are thinking about hearing loss,
Yeah.
but you will be surprised, Edrine, that 60% of hearing loss among children is actually preventable.
Wow.
60% of causes of hearing loss among children is preventable. Facts presented by World Health Organization. So if we are talking about 60 can be preventable, then we need to get involved to
Yeah.
find out exactly what are these causes and
True.
what can we do about them
True.
for our people.
Yeah. Yeah, that takes us to the next point of discussion. What are some of the common, now that you've got an opportunity to interact with a number of parents with children who are victims of the hearing loss and the children themselves? What do you think are some of the common causes? Because there is a threat. The World Health Organization assumes that almost 1 billion people aged between 12 and 35 years are at risk of having hearing loss in the near future. What are some of these common causes, so that we can talk about them and maybe reduce this 1 billion to probably a
Um,
manageable number?
I will begin from what you have quoted.
Mm.
So that number among the young adults, and again, Uganda becomes very critical because you
Yeah,
have the youngest population. So
true.
when you're talking about World Health Organization, you're talking about the ages between 15 and 35. That is Uganda.
Mm.
So that means we are actually at risk
Yeah.
as a nation. So the common causes, um, that particular one is called noise-induced hearing loss. Noise-induced hearing loss. So when there is a lot of noise, that is being when you're exposed to a lot of noise, your ears begin to ebb.
Yeah.
Your hearing cells, they are called hair cells, in the cochlea, in the inner ear,
Mm.
they will begin to set. So I'll use an example of rain. Right now it has started raining.
Mm.
So if the grass is available and there's a sudden huge downpour and the rainwater is moving, you realize that after the rain, all the grass will be in one direction.
Yes.
But for your ear to actually perform, those hair cells need to be moving. You know, sound comes and it turns from sound into a mechanical energy by the oscillatory chain in the middle ear. Then when it comes to the inner ear, you're talking about hydraulic energy because it's now working with the fluids in the inner ear.
Yeah.
And in the inner ear, the different parts of the organs there, it is actually very beautiful the way hearing happens. So when you induce a lot of noise, sometimes it can actually impair the middle ear. So the eardrum is, just imagine it's elastic, right? But it is being impounded for with a lot of energy.
Energy.
So by the time you are 2-3 years in the same environment, the hair cells begin to ebb. So you will suffer progressive, severe sensory neural hearing loss, which is noise induced. So that is one of the major cause among that
The age group.
Yeah, is noise. Again, you're going recreation um, character traits like you're putting on headphones, or maybe you've gone for dancing and you know that loud music. So that,
which the young people like so much.
Again, I'm talking about that group because that is who we are. Yeah, who we are. Then the other cause could be among adults, could be age. Okay, again, as you grow, different experiences in life, health issues, you can also lose your hearing. But among children, much more, we also need to be thinking about the ear infections. Okay, there are common causes of hearing loss when you have, for example, otitis media or otitis media effusion. All these things, when you have fluid in the ear which is not treated, it rests a lot on the tympanic membrane, and when you don't see the specialist in time, this will end up causing hearing loss. And again, that's where the involvement of parents and families, your family TV,
Yes.
and we're here. Hearing is about us.
True.
The first person to identify a hearing loss is actually a member of a family, either the mother, the father, or a sibling. Edrine, these days I need to shout in order to do this. You look at that. But again, in other places, hearing loss is detected at birth.
How is it detected at birth?
Yes. You don't leave the hospital unless they have done a hearing screening. They will send signals to your ear and they see how your ear is responding. So depending on how it's responding, you either pass or fail. It's basic screening. So if a child has failed, then he's given another appointment to go back for further evaluation. And for further evaluation, you can do audiometry, you can do play audiometry, you can do otoacoustic emissions. Then and the investigations gradually become complicated to realize, to narrow it on where it is.
Well, we are shortly going for a commercial break, and when we come back, we shall continue with the discussion.
The starting point of your surgery, when they say attention and you hold your legs, you have made yourself a soldier.
Then I said, now I know you want me to get saved, so I am going to get saved, but give me time. Can you imagine telling God, where if you ask him for something, can you imagine him telling you, give me time?
I praise God that I was condemned, because if I wasn't condemned by man, then consequently I would have been condemned by God. But because of that human condemnation, that led me to my salvation.
Thank you for watching HealthPort, and I welcome you back from the commercial break. Edrine Osteen Mukalazi is my name. This program is brought to you by Makerere University School of Public Health, and we are basically looking at maternal health, early childhood development, and other public health concerns. What we are looking at today is an aspect in early childhood development, which is hearing loss. And yesterday, we all know that it was the World Hearing Day, and the theme was Hearing for Life, Listen Carefully. So, here we are with Mr. Eddie Mukaaya taking us through a lot of things that you people need to know, because the reason this day is commemorated is not a matter of talking about it and coming up with a theme, but to create awareness and to check and see what can we do to save the next generation. Eddie, we are back, and we want now, you have told us about some of the common causes of hearing loss. Now we want to look at what parents can do, what caretakers can do when they when they detect a challenge, a problem, or when they detect it coming. I'm talking about now the hearing loss. What they can do, or even to prevent it, because
Right.
in the first episode you told us, the first session of this show, you told us that 60% of these causes are preventable, and we are interested into the preventive bit of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you again. I'll begin from the preventive side of it. But
Yeah.
when we're talking about awareness, information is key.
True.
We need to be aware of what hearing loss is and what
Mm.
the causes are.
Mm.
But generally, the causes can be categorized.
Mm.
Some causes are prenatal, other causes are perinatal, and other causes are when they within childhood to adults to adolescence, and the bigger portion is the adult that we talked about.
Yeah.
Now let me talk about the perinatal and the prenatal.
Prenatal, yeah.
For prenatal, that's when the child is within the mother's womb. Research has showed that a child, the cochlea fully develops. The cochlea is the hearing organ
Yes.
for a human being. Fully develops after 24 weeks. All right? So after 24 weeks, this child will begin to hear. And ask me, what is this child hearing? Much more the mother's voice. So by the time the child is born, he's heard or she's heard voices at home. When the mother is cooking, this child is hearing, right? Now, there are congenital issues that may cause this cochlea not to develop. And again, we will not go much into those terms,
Yeah.
but when such happens, you need to really go and obey the routine visit on the hospital when you're expecting, right? Even taking that folic acid that they gave it is very critical. It plays a big role in the hearing cells.
So in other words, mothers should not take antenatal for granted.
Mothers should not take antenatal for granted. Actually, if I have the audacity, I would say mothers have the full responsibility of taking care of their children's hearing. Right? So that is the perinatal, the prenatal.
Yeah.
Then when it comes to prenatal, when a child is just born,
Yeah.
again, go for immunizations, because some of the causes of hearing loss are immunizable diseases, like meningitis, all right, and all those 6 killer diseases. When we were, I know you have many now, but our years were 6 killer diseases,
Yeah.
right?
And these days there are more than
Yeah,
6.
but you take your child to be immunized. You need to make sure that you're on the routine, and as you go there, they're also checking other things. Then there is other causes can be viruses, right? I earlier on talked about middle ear infections.
Yeah.
So a middle ear infection, when a child is playing out there, and after 6 months, when the child is began doing that and putting things in her mouth and all that, that's when, and maybe preschool and all that, the ear infections begin to kick in. So if you don't take care of those early, they can eventually cause a hearing loss. So that's why it comes back to the family.
Yeah.
Right?
True.
So when you manage your routine well,
Mm.
and you're able to check with the child, even wax impacting on the membrane, on the tympanic membrane, can cause hearing loss, which actually can become permanent. And just imagine wax in
Which
the ear.
just accumulates.
Yes. So if you're a parent who is not taking care of certain things, so this can be. So becoming aware of what are the dangers of all the causes of hearing loss. And again, the other thing which is critical is identification. You need to be able to identify that actually I'm dealing with a hearing loss here. Because if you identify and intervene early, you can save a lot of time. Right? Again, you were quoting World Health Organization before, but they say almost $16 billion are saved per annum.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
By intervening either with technology or with forms of different communications and all that. So you will be saving a lot as regards to relegating it to whom it may concern. So it's basically doing your part in helping to be able to do that. And when you have identified, you know which kind of hearing loss maybe your child has suffered or your mom has suffered, then you have appropriate interventions from the different professionals that help in the ear and hearing care services. Yeah.
Well, I understand tomorrow, Saturday, Hear His Voice Uganda has organized a commemoration here at your offices. What are some of the activities that you're going to carry on in this commemoration?
Yes, thank you.
Mm.
I told you earlier that we started in 2017.
Yes.
And 2017 we actually walked on the streets of Kampala. If by then Russia had invaded Ukraine, we would be in CPS. Yeah, but we walked just to demonstrate, to call the attention. We did that 2 consecutive years. Then the following years, we have now been scaling it down from public to where it matters most. So we want to empower people, we want to empower communities, we want to empower professionals, and we want to empower families. So for this year, we are commemorating World Hearing Day in a unique way. Honestly, Edrine, in a unique way. We are hosting a conference which is spreading across East Africa. We have campuses in 5 cities in East Africa. We have a campus in Nairobi, we have a campus in Eldoret, we have a campus here at Hear His Voice, we have a campus in Hoima, the city of Hoima.
Yeah.
We have a campus in Butare in Rwanda. So what are we doing? We are demonstrating that, listening is important, just as the theme is, all right? Listening is critical. We don't teach deaf children how to talk. We teach them how to listen, right? Because when you are growing up, they never told you, "Gwetoyogera," but they told you, "Gwetoulira."
Yeah, true.
Look at that. You need to listen. You see, you see the negative derogatories that come with it.
Yeah.
But now we are saying we want to bring you to a point and say, children with hearing loss need to be helped to start to listen, especially when they are given technology like a hearing aid or a cochlear implant. The thing they need is to be able to listen, to learn to listen and learn to talk. It's like learn to listen, then you will be able to learn to talk. And by the grace of God, we have been honored to host 2 renowned world cochlear implant audiology speakers. We are hosting Dr. Carol Flexer. Dr. Carol Flexer is a renowned audiologist who doubles as an AVT certified. She talks passionately about nobody should be left behind because of a hearing loss, right? Then we also have Professor Tom Rowland. Professor Tom Rowland is a name as far as cochlear implants are concerned. He's a professor in New York. And we have another lady coming from Northern Ireland. She's also a certified auditory verbal therapist. And our very own Eddie Mukaaya. going to speak about what do families need in this journey of hearing loss. Now you'll ask me, why are you bringing these whites from the US, from Northern Ireland and all that? The thing is, this approach is new to us,
Yeah.
right? And we cannot start from scratch. We need to start from somewhere. I do believe developing countries like we are, we have a lot of opportunities to adapt research. We don't need to go back there.
Yeah.
We can adapt research and study it and apply it in our situations. So when I bring Professor Roland, for example, he has been coming here several times. Actually, he's responsible for the start of the cochlear implant program in Uganda. He's been training surgeons at Mukaaya University. So he knows the ins and the outs as far as Uganda and hearing care services are concerned. So we have such, and we want to pick back right on such people so that we can get there.
Yeah. So, are people invited, or they'll watch this over Zoom?
Thank you. That is good. I talked about campuses.
Yes.
People are invited. This is a conference in person. Again, thank God to the government. We can be allowed to meet. So people are invited, and I want to appeal to those who really want to be interested in better ear and hearing care services in our community to come to hear his voice in Ntinda.
Tomorrow, starting at
yeah. Starting at, actually we are here the whole day from 10 to 4:30 with different programs. And you know, we had a training of some master's university students who are training in this area of hearing loss, and they had never seen a child who is deaf talk. They had never seen what a cochlear implant is. So there are so many opportunities when you come, as opposed to I will stay there and watch on Zoom.
TV,
so
on
we are
Zoom or
giving
whatever.
we are giving people an opportunity to come and see, to come and touch, to come and learn, and to come and network. Yeah, so it is open to the public to come for this unique. It is unique. We want to start small and grow.
Yeah.
We want to be able to bring together, and again, why 5 cities? We have more or less the common challenges across this Great Lakes region. All right, our professionals, Mukaaya University trains speech and language pathologists who go to Kenya, to South Sudan, to DC and Tanzania. So when we come together, we have common challenges and common trends of the way we do work. So we want to see that we can support the professionals to work together and see how we do this.
Well, thank you so much, Eddie. We are delighted that you've shared with us. And just in case, like you said, you're interested, please feel free to come here at Ntinda. Please share with them their location.
Here, His Voice Uganda is located off Magambo Road. Magambo Road is in Ntinda. The main benchmark there is in Shell Ntinda, opposite Hardware World. So once you get to Magambo Road, you can locate here His Voice Uganda.
Wow. Thank you so much, Eddie, once again. And we are delighted. So we promise you we shall move with Hear His Voice and our big theme of hearing loss the whole of this month. So expect a lot from Hear His Voice. I believe by the time we close up the month, you will have been blessed by these messages. Edrine Osteen Mukalazi is my name. Mebo Murungi, the sign language interpreter. I've worked with Jonah Jal, the producer, Bantam in transmission. And we meet again next time. For now, goodbye.